Doug MPA back with another video. So guys, if you didn't know, Doug MPA waited tables on and off for 10 years, all the way through undergrad and grad school. And I had a great time in restaurants waiting tables. It's a good way to learn social skills. It's the best job to have in college because you work at night. You make a lot of money for not having to work 40 hours a week. It was great. Now I do believe that one matures past waiting tables because when I was done with it, man. The long, the running around on your feet, the horrible customers smelling like food all the time. I was just done with it. But I wouldn't trade my time in restaurants for the world. I found this article. It's called "The Waitress in Debt: How One Woman Fights Back Against Debt." This guy Gerard DePaul, I guess he talks to a waitress named Sarah, and Sarah talks about the difficulties of waiting tables and how she's in debt. And you know how I like talking about debt and women on my channel, guys. It's one of life's simplest pleasures. Anyway, we're going to get into this article. Before I do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. And let's look at this article about the waitress in debt. It says, waitressing is a common job that many people turn to in order to make ends meet. However, what many people don't realize is that waitressing can be a difficult job that often comes with financial struggles. In this blog post, we will explore the truth about waitressing and the challenges that come with it. We will also share the story of one woman's struggle with debt and how she fought back against it. Finally, we will provide tips for managing debt as a waitress and discuss the importance of speaking out against financial struggles. So let me first say, fought back against it. What does that mean? The thing about debt, guys, is you put yourself in debt in the first place. There's no debt that you can incur that you don't sign on for. The only time I've seen anything prior to that is, I've seen mothers get credit cards with their children's social security number, or maybe you had a spouse that maybe went behind your back and opened credit cards, whatever. But that's a small percentage of cases. But most people, they're in debt because they signed on that dotted line. So how do you fight back against something that you willingly put yourself into? It says, waitressing is a job that involves serving food and drinks to customers. We know that. In a restaurant, waitresses are responsible for taking orders. While waitressing can be a rewarding job, it also comes with many challenges. One of the biggest challenges of waitressing is the physical demands of the job. Waitresses are on their feet for long hours and often have to carry heavy trays of food and drinks. This can be exhausting and can lead to physical strain and injuries. Yeah, tell that to the guys in the sewers. Tell that to the guys on the roofs roofing stuff. Tell that to the drywallers. Tell it to the men who are the police officers, or our military men, or plumbers, or all the guys in freaking infrastructure jobs. Guys, I waited tables for a long time. It's not that physically demanding. Not for a guy, at least. One of the biggest. Okay. Another challenge of waitressing is dealing with difficult customers. Waitresses often have to deal with rude or demanding customers, which can be stressful and emotionally draining. That is true, guys. That is true. And you know what? I haven't waited tables in years. I couldn't imagine waiting tables after the cough. You see all the stuff on social media about fights happening in restaurants, people yelling and screaming and stuff. I couldn't imagine doing it now. No way. And with social media too, you have people turn the camera on and act crazy to a waiter or a waitress or a manager at a restaurant just for clout on social media. No way. Because despite these challenges, there are also benefits to be a waitress. Waitresses just often have flexible schedules, which can be helpful for those who need to balance work with other responsibilities. They also have the opportunity to earn tips, which can make the job very lucrative. And I've said on other videos on my channel, men prioritize money, women prioritize flexible work schedules. Making a large amount of money in a short amount of time, and a lot of pretty women can leverage their sexuality when they're waiting tables because men and women give attractive servers more money. The struggle with student loan debt. Unfortunately, many waitresses struggle with debt. This is often due to low wages and the fact that many waitresses rely on tips to make a living. When tips are low, it can be difficult to make ends meet. And that is true, which is why people that go out to eat and don't tip are the scum of the earth, dude. Here's the thing. If you go to a restaurant, if you are so inclined, you can make that food at home. Go on YouTube, go to the grocery store, make the food yourself. But if you patron a restaurant, you are the tip is for the restaurant experience. And a lot of states, you make $2, $3, $4 an hour as a server. So if you don't get tipped, you don't make any money. Guys, if you're listening to this, unless the server is an absolute scumbag, tip the server. And if the service being awful or the service is bad or the food's bad, don't let it get to the point where you're paying the bill. Say something. But don't let the experience be totally bad and then you don't leave a tip. People that go to restaurants with the intent to not tip are the scum of the earth. I'm just going to say it right now. They're up there with single mothers by choice. Anyway, in addition, many former waitresses have to deal with irregular income. They may work fewer hours during slow seasons or when business is slow, which can make it difficult to budget and plan for expenses. You can see that there are whole municipalities that are based on tourism and customer service, and the whole economy takes a dip in certain parts of the year. And, that's the restaurant industry pretty much. The winter months are slow. The spring and summer months are busy, so you have to plan accordingly. The impact of debt on the lives of former waitresses can be significant. It can cause stress and anxiety. It can even lead to depression. Debt can make it difficult to make ends meet, which can lead to other financial struggles, such as difficulty paying bills or making rent. So let's get to Sarah here. One woman who knows all too well about the struggle with debt is Sarah. Sarah worked as a former waitress for several years and found herself struggling to make ends meet. She often had to rely on credit cards to pay for expenses, which led to mounting debt. Okay, so here's the thing. How long do you have to go not making enough money before you realize that you have to find a different job? Okay, there are restaurants where um, uh, the check amount is higher, so you make more money. Maybe you have to work at a higher end restaurant. But why did Sarah work in these dead end jobs where she had to rely on credit cards? Or maybe she should have got another part-time job, but just to let debt accumulate, that's her fault. Sarah knew she needed to make a change, so she started to take action. She began by tracking her expenses and creating a budget. A woman creating a budget? Imagine that. And one of the best parts about her creating a budget is waiting tables, you get your tips in cash. And Doug and PA, I don't carry around cash. It gets spent. And a lot of servers do that too. A lot of servers, they don't, their tips don't get to the bank. They have all this money in their hands and they feel inclined to spend it. She also started to look for ways to increase her income, such as taking additional shifts or finding other part-time work. Good job, Sarah. Over time, Sarah was able to pay off her debt and achieve financial freedom. She now shares her story with others to encourage them to take control of their finances and fight back against debt. Okay, if you're a waitress paid who's struggling with debt, there's several things that you can do. Create a budget, find ways to increase your income, manage your debt. This may involve working with a financial advisor or a debt counselor. Yeah, right. One of the most important things that waitresses could do to fight back against debt is to speak out about their struggles and student loans. So if you went to school You have student loans. Why are you waiting tables full time? I can see part time, but you should be in a professional job. But once again, women get these degrees. What are the five, guys? I say it in every other video: psychology, sociology, social work, counseling, and some kind of studies degree: gender studies, African American studies, Asian studies, and honorable mention: liberal arts and marketing. That's why you're waiting tables with a degree in student loan debt, Sarah. It says, if you're a waitress struggling with debt, it's important to remember that you're not alone. There are many others who are going through the same thing, and there are resources available to you. Waitressing can be a challenging job. It's also a job that comes with many benefits. Unfortunately, many waitresses struggle with college debt each week, which can have a significant impact on their lives. Waiting tables, especially in this economy, you're not going to find a lot of jobs with waiting tables where you can live a prosperous life, and that sucks. And then I think I read a study a long time ago that like waiting tables is probably the most stressful job in the United States, even more than being a police officer, based upon stress put on your body. I'll have to fact check that because it's been a while. But yeah, you know, Sarah, I'm glad she got her life turned around, but you know, waiting tables, it's not it, you guys. I don't do it anymore. You know, there are times where I do miss it, but not enough to go back. And you know, I make a good salary as it is. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one.